You plan, you control, you grip harder, and yet things slip away. You wake up before dawn, determined to conquer the day. The checklist on your desk is already filled with sharp lines and urgent notes. Today will be different, you tell yourself. Today, everything will fall perfectly into place because you have planned it that way. Coffee in hand, you rush through the morning motions. Each second shaved off your routine feels like a small invisible victory. But as you step outside, life greets you not with the crisp order you crave, but with thick traffic clogging every street, an unexpected email demanding your time, a sudden drizzle softening the edges of your perfectly arranged plans. You clench harder, push harder, control harder. The meetings pile up, the delays compound, and with each disruption your mind spins tighter, like a rope being pulled at both ends. You find yourself snapping at small mistakes. You find your chest tightening over minor delays. Inside, the voice of control rises. Fix it, solve it, push through it. It's a familiar rhythm, almost comforting in its urgency. But by midday, exhaustion begins to crack through your armor. No matter how carefully you arrange the pieces, life keeps knocking them out of place. You sit in your car at a red light, longer than feels reasonable, hands gripping the steering wheel like it's a lifeline. The tightness in your body mirrors the tightness in your mind. Somewhere in the back of your memory, an image surfaces. A river you once watched as a child, vast, moving effortlessly, bending around rocks, flowing over obstacles without resistance. You wonder, just for a second, how it feels to move like that, without fighting, without forcing. The light turns green. You drive on, but something inside you feels heavier, slower. It's not just traffic. It's the weariness of wrestling with a life that refuses to be tamed. At the end of the day, slumped on your couch, you stare at the cracked ceiling and let out a sigh you didn't know you were holding. A thought drifts quietly into the exhausted stillness of your mind. Maybe it's not about controlling, not about... True change often begins with exhaustion, not ambition. You wake the next morning slower, not because you chose to, but because your body refuses to keep sprinting. There's a softness in the air today, as if the world itself is asking you to move differently. You sit by the window, watching a faint mist roll over the rooftops, blurring the edges of the world you usually try so hard to sharpen. A thought, almost too quiet to notice, stirs within you. What if control isn't the only way? Later, needing air, you slip on your jacket and step outside. The evening light feels warmer than usual, touching everything with a golden hand. As you walk without destination, you notice small signs of a season beginning to shift. Tiny buds cling to the ends of brittle winter branches, stubborn and tender at once. Grass peeks up from cracks in the sidewalk. Nature isn't hurrying, you realize. It's moving, but not forcing. Growing, but not frantic. Every leaf, every petal, every seedling trusts that its time will come. There's no panic here, no endless planning or desperate grasping. Only patience, only unfolding. You pause beside a low wooden fence, leaning on it as you watch a garden patch on the other side. It's barely more than tilled earth now, but someone clearly believes in what will one day bloom there. The seeds are already buried, unseen. Their growth invisible, yet inevitable. Your mind drifts back to a forgotten afternoon from childhood. Small, dirt-smeared hands burying sunflower seeds in a backyard plot, feeling the thrill of possibility without any certainty. Back then, you knew to trust the hidden work of time. When did you forget? You take a deep breath, tasting the coolness of early spring on your tongue. Maybe life doesn't need your fists clenching it tighter. Maybe life just needs your open hands. For the first time in what feels like forever, you loosen your mental grip. Just a little. Just enough to let the evening breeze weave through the spaces between your fingers. Just enough to entertain the radical idea that not everything needs your control to flourish. And as you turn the corner, feeling lighter, you notice something you might have missed in your usual rush. A message, a glance, an open door, an unexpected invitation surfaces. Thrashing against the river only exhausts you. You sit quietly tonight, alone but not lonely, hands wrapped around a cup of warm tea. There's no television buzzing, no phone in your hand, just the slow rhythm of your breathing and the soft hum of life moving somewhere beyond your window. You close your eyes and imagine it again, the river, wide, unhurried, powerful in its patience. You see yourself standing at its edge, the same way you did years ago, watching its endless current slip around stones and over roots without struggle. But this time, you take a step forward. The water is colder than you expect, clenching your ankles, wrapping around your calves. Fear flickers up like a match struck too close to your skin. What if I can't? What if I sink? Your mind flashes back to a friend's casual words once offered, "You do not swim by punching the water." At the time you laughed. Now, the truth of it sinks deeper into your bones. You exhale slowly and let yourself fall back into the imagined current. For a terrifying moment you flail, arms grasping, legs kicking, but the river doesn't punish you. It simply holds you. It doesn't rush to pull you under. It invites you to release. Bit by bit you stop fighting. Your muscles unlock. Your breathing steadies. You stop trying to control the river and start letting it carry you. Weightlessness, freedom, trust. The current moves beneath you, steady and strong, asking for nothing except your willingness to float. And there, in that invisible contract between you and something so much larger, a quiet understanding blooms. You were never meant to wrestle your way through life. You were meant to move with it. Opening your eyes again, you find the room around you unchanged. Yet something inside you feels new, tender like a fresh sprout breaking through the soil. You place the empty cup down on the table, a small smile tugging at your mouth. Tomorrow, a situation awaits, something that once would have triggered all your old defenses. But now you intend to meet it differently. Tomorrow you will float. Seeds don't sprout just because you dig them up every day. You remind yourself of this on a chilly Tuesday afternoon as you sit alone in a quiet cafe, stirring a cup of tea you haven't yet tasted. The world outside the window is painted in soft grays and muted greens, spring still hesitating before fully arriving. Patience. It's a lesson you thought you understood. But understanding is not the same as living it. In the days following your decision to float instead of fight, opportunities have come, some clear, some confusing. The old you would have leapt at the first glimpse of an opening, scrambling to force things forward. But now you choose to wait, to let things ripen naturally. It isn't easy. There are moments when anxiety rises like a tide, whispering that if you don't act now, you'll miss your only chance. You see others announcing new jobs, new relationships, new milestones. Part of you itches to keep pace, to prove your worth through visible progress. But you stay still. You water the small seeds of effort you've planted, the conversations started, the quiet promises made to yourself. And then you step back. You resist the urge to dig them up every morning to see if they've grown. Some days nothing seems to happen. The inbox stays empty, the phone silent. And yet, somewhere beneath the surface, something stirs. You remember a garden from your childhood, a lesson learned in failure. You had planted tomatoes one summer, poking seeds into the earth with grand visions of red, ripe fruit by the end of June. But impatience ruined it. You watered too much, tampered too often, uprooted delicate sprouts to check on them, stunting what might have thrived if only left alone. Now you choose differently. You offer gentle attention without force. You trust unseen roots. You accept that not every movement can be measured, not every growth can be rushed. One afternoon, an opportunity you had quietly nurtured falls through without warning. A polite email, a simple, "Thank you, but not at this time." Surprisingly, you don't crumble. You don't spiral into doubt or anger. Instead, you take a deep breath, feeling disappointment wash over you like a light spring rain, soaking in, then passing on. Somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice assures you, maybe, something even better is coming. The less you force, the more life offers. You've begun to move through your days differently now, not rushing, not pushing, just allowing. And strangely, life feels lighter. It starts small. A barista remembers your name and your favorite drink without asking. A stranger holds the door a little longer, offering a smile that feels warmer than the spring sun. You notice you are smiling more too, not because things are perfect, but because you are no longer carrying the invisible weight of needing them to be. One evening, you attend a small gathering, a casual thing you would have once declined because it didn't fit neatly into your plans. You say yes now, not because you expect anything monumental to happen, but because it feels right. There, in the soft hum of conversation and clinking glasses, you meet someone. Not a grand cinematic meeting, but a simple, authentic connection. Words flow easily. Ideas spark without being forced. You laugh without worrying how you sound. Opportunities begin to thread themselves into your life, almost invisibly at first. A mention of a project that needs someone with your skills. A recommendation from a friend of a friend you only met because you trusted a small nudge to attend an event. Doors you never could have planned for begin to open, not because you chased them, but because you stopped blocking them with your frantic energy. You move differently now. Conversations are no longer negotiations to secure your future. They are dances you enjoy while you cower in them. Decisions are no longer battles of overthinking. They are steps taken with an easy confidence that whatever unfolds, you'll handle it. One afternoon, as you walk home beneath a sky brushed with soft golden clouds, your phone buzzes. A message, an offer, an invitation. Not vague, not tentative, clear, life-changing. Something you would have never been able to script or schedule or hustle your way into. You pause on the sidewalk, heart beating steady and strong, and smile. The river has brought you here. A clear, life-changing opportunity presents itself. Flow isn't a destination. It's a way of being. The sky is just beginning to brighten, casting a pale golden light across the riverbank where you stand. There's a coolness to the air, the kind that whispers of new beginnings without fanfare. You close your eyes for a moment and listen. The water moves steadily, whispering over rocks and bending gracefully around every obstacle in its path. Not rushing, not resisting, just being. You breathe in deeply. There's no checklist in your pocket today, no rigid plan pressing against your mind. Only an open morning and an open heart. You've learned something essential, something that no book or course could have truly taught you. Life doesn't need to be wrestled into submission. It needs to be trusted. Small decisions unfold naturally now. You say yes when your heart feels the pull. You say no without guilt when the current doesn't feel right. You make choices not to force outcomes, but to express who you are becoming. You no longer demand guarantees before you act. You move with presence. You listen more, to others, to the world, to yourself. There's a gentleness to your days now, but beneath that gentleness lies a fierce kind of strength, the kind born from surrender, not struggle. You step closer to the river's edge, letting the breeze lift the edges of your jacket. The current moves forward, carrying leaves and reflections alike, not needing to know exactly where it's going. You smile. You understand now. You don't have to control every twist and turn. You just have to keep moving, open-hearted and awake, trusting the way the river knows better than your fear ever could. The river keeps flowing, and so do you. The first light touches the river, scattering diamonds across its surface. In the soft hush of morning, strength reveals itself not in force, but in trust. Even when you can't see the path clearly, even when the current feels uncertain, flowing with life is its own quiet kind of courage. Perhaps today, you too can loosen your grip just a little, and let life carry you somewhere you never dreamed possible.